Hello and welcome to the Broad Street Hockey Podcast. We back. I am your host, Ryan Gilbert. Joining me, as usual, is my co-host, Joe DeMarini. Joe, it's been a while. How you been?
Oh, yes. It's been a while. Shout out Mr. Flyperbole. Yeah, it's been good. We've gotten one Flyers game in the time since we last recorded. Sorry for the gap, but I think we took off a week for Labor Day, and then Gilbs was out of town, and then I had a scheduling conflict, and it just all kind of was like, we'll get to it after the preseason game starts off. So thank you for bearing with us. We're glad to be back. How you been?
Yeah, no, I've been good. I was away in London for a week, and then I got back for a week. I was all jet lagged, and then it was like, hockey's back, but we can wait till games start. So, Joe, and the guys had you covered with the top 25, under 25. I think we came out number one today.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, then.
Oh, the article is up
I think
today.
the article's out today. I mean, it's not spoiler alert. It's Matt Michkov is number the top player under 25. But you and the gang there, Kyle producing it, killing all that. So make sure you check that out. Hyperbole's been going on. So there's been stuff to keep you covered while we're gone. We're going to kind of just hop right in here and not touch too much on things that have happened over the past few weeks. But I do want to shout out our sponsors. We were presented by FanDuel. FanDuel has some odds up for the Flyers to make the playoffs. Let's see, what are they at? They are still right there around plus 300 now. I think they were around plus 220 when we last recorded. So odds getting longer there for the Flyers, even though they won their first preseason game there with Matt Michkov kind of playing the hero with the game tying goal, and then the long shootout. He had one of the goals there in the shootout. Some stream issues, watching the Islanders Jumbotron, but all in all, a solid preseason showing.
Yeah. God, I was just like, can I go to bed yet? I had just gotten back from my brother's bachelorette weekend of camping. I was gassed, and I'm like, of course the Flyers are going to an 11-round shootout in their first game of the preseason, and I have to work tomorrow. Why wouldn't they do this to us? But no, it was fun to watch. Michkov played the hero, scored in the closing moments, took it to overtime. Groundbreaking New York Islanders Flyers overtime game, starting off on the right foot. And I was impressed too with Jamie Drysdale. I thought he really looked pretty good as like the top pair dude. And Jack Nesbitt, I feel like I'm just gonna let you all know that while we're recording, my oven is on and there is like a couple of crows roasting in there that they're not ready yet. I think we need to wait a few more weeks to see where we're at, but we're slow cooking some crows that I might have to eat in a few months' time.
I think it might take a few years to fully have to eat crow on Jack Nesbitt, but I mean, it's the same thing that happened last year. We were like, Jet Luchenko, what is this pick? And then he, made the team out of camp. But before we discuss the game any further, I have to say rest in peace there to Bernie Perron. Very, very sad, tragically passed away on Sunday there. I was hoping the Flyers could get a shutout for him on Sunday, but, legend, brought the Flyers 2 cups. And something I've been thinking about recently a lot, and this just brought it front of mind, is that the Flyers being unable, this is 50 years since the Flyers won a Stanley Cup, 1975, 2025. If they had won a Stanley Cup after 75, these guys would have been paraded around all last season, 50-year anniversary of back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. But instead, it's like, oh, that's the last team that won. We can celebrate it, but the fans are like, oh, why haven't they won since? Why is this the only team we can celebrate? So, they're kind of a victim of their own ineptitude, but I guess that's just Philadelphia Flyers hockey.
No, Bernie Perron is one of the few old Flyers that I've actually met. Like I constantly say I'm a newer fan. And he was at our draft party, and there was a bit of a miscommunication where I was apparently going to be like his handler for the night, and I didn't know that going in. So they were like, "You're gonna hang out with Bernie Perron for a while." I was like, "Okay, yeah. All right." And then like 5 minutes later, they're like, "Scratch that. We didn't understand what was happening. You're free to go." And I was like, "Okay." And then I was free to go be angry about the Jack Nesbitt pick. But it was really cool to meet him, and Flyers lost a real one.
Yeah, got to see what I have to imagine they'll do something, maybe on their jersey, wear a patch or something on the helmet this season for him. Obviously his number one is already retired and whatnot. So
Mhm.
how they honor him this season. But I mean, yeah, they honored him with a win in their preseason opener, as we were talking about. 3-2 final there. You had Kolosov playing the first two periods. He looked Kolosov. He looked better
Yeah.
than we expected. He kind of over movement on the one rebound goal that he gave up. And then I forget what the other goal was there, or maybe it was only one, and then
He only let in one,
Bjarnason
I think,
gave
and
up
then
one.
Bjarnason let one in as well.
Yeah, and Bjarnason played well too. I mean,
The
going that deep
shootout.
in the shootout, especially. I mean, he got beat by that one insane move, and then Tony D'Angelo. But I mean, it was relatively NHL lineup for the Islanders. Matthew Schaefer was out there, Matthew Barzal. I think Anders Lee was playing, Kyle Palmieri. Like the Islanders was there. I think first
Horvat.
preseason game. Horvat was playing.
I
Yeah,
think Horvat was in,
they
yeah.
were playing like a legit top six, and the Flyers had we got Zegras, Michkov, Grebenkin as our top line. We got
Yep.
Rodrigo Abel scoring goals here.
Oh, it was
Um,
Kolosov. Thank you for shouting that out. I thought it was 1-1, but it was Kolosov. Let them both.
yeah,
Alas.
yeah, but yeah, who it's and yeah, like you, I was like, all right, they're losing late. Let the Islanders hit the empty net, finish the game. Let's get ready for Monday morning. But no, Michkov tied it up, went to a long shootout, of course. So yeah, they're back in action tonight on Tuesday in Montreal. We do have a forward group there. You got Couturier going up, you got Luchenko playing. So stay tuned to Broad Street Hockey podcast feed, YouTube. I'm sure we'll have people reacting to that. But uh big news from today, Tyson Forster, who, there was some miscommunication on his injury reports earlier in the summer, but he's back at practice today. I saw someone posted on social media that he took a hit and the teammates like cheered for him and he got back up and he was fine. So looks like
Good.
Tyson Forster is fully on track to start the season with the Flyers.
I've got that typho fever, man. I am ready to see him just pop 30 this season. I feel like he can do it. I hope the injury doesn't like mess with his shot too much. So we'll see. Give him
Yeah.
some grace to start the season, folks. But here's hoping.
Well, he's always needed grace to start the season. Yeah, and I think it was a left shoulder injury, which is his front hand, which I guess we'll see how that affects him. And yeah, Kolosov did let in two. I'm trying to scroll back on the Islanders Twitter feed to see if I can see the highlights of that one, so I can remind myself how the second goal happened. Oh yeah, it was a 2-on-1. 2-on-1, couldn't really do much about it. So yeah, nothing too bad there from Kolosov. Bjarnason looked good. That should be a solid goaltending tandem there in Lehigh Valley this year.
Yeah, and speaking of that tandem, there is one less goaltender that is required to play for the Lehigh Valley Phantoms.
Yeah.
It's been a while, and in the time we were off, Ivan Fedotov got traded to the Columbus Blue Jackets. Surely a Russian goaltender going to Columbus will not come back to
No,
haunt the Flyers a
no,
decade from now.
no. Yeah, I was getting people worried. People heard that the Flyers traded a tall bearded man away, and I wasn't on any podcast. People were like, "Oh, where's Gilbs at?" But no, we had Ivan Fedotov traded to the Blue Jackets for a 6th round pick in next year's draft. Yeah, 2026.
Who
Uh,
cares?
got his cap hit off the books,
Yep.
and yeah, I mean, getting someone to take Fedotov. Hopefully, he finds his game enough to be a backup or something for Columbus. 3.2 million through just this season as a pending free agent. Joins a bunch of Russians up there in Columbus as well. So hopefully he'll be fitting in there. Yeah, it's not going to be a should have kept, but it's more of like a should have handled better situation. Like he had a decent stretch in November. He had that winning
Sure.
game on Black Friday against the Rangers, got
Yeah.
pulled in his next start, and didn't play for a month. Like ideally, he would have been in the AHL, and they wouldn't have had Kolosov. But who knows what kind of financial deal they had with him to get him over and whatnot. And just the Flyers' defense in front of him wasn't good. Like he's not going to be a great starting goaltender. He's not going to be Bobrovsky. He's not going to win a Vesna, but could he be a 900 save percentage guy? Maybe. Could it be a 1B
Maybe.
in a tandem? Maybe. And, unfortunately for the Flyers, they really never got to find that out.
I mean, I don't even think of it as a poorly handled situation. The whole thing was like kicked in the head from the start. You know, he gets arrested trying to leave practice. He gets press ganged into a year of military service. Then he has to play another year of hockey in Russia. Like, the fact that they got him over here at all is kind of a small miracle. So I don't begrudge any of it. Like, thank you for coming, Ivan. You did your best, but you don't really fit here, and you're making too much money for our cap sheet. So good luck in Columbus. I mean, I watched the Columbus Buffalo Sabres preseason game last night, much to the
true
the
sicko.
chagrin
You're a
of
true sicko.
true sicko. And boy, if Elvis Merzlikins looks that bad in a regular season game, Fedotov might be getting some NHL minutes.
I mean, they have
long.
Jack Greaves. Jack Greaves is a young
Yeah.
guy who was great last year. I think he's going to end up being the starter there, but we'll see
He's
how
got a shot.
if they work in Fedotov for the AHL team or the NHL team there in Columbus. And yeah, it's just that, you know, in the KHL, he had a 921 career save percentage, and like that doesn't
That's
just
good.
go away. Maybe it's too hard to you know, go from the KHL to the NHL, but yeah, I just feel like he had more in him here, and yeah, it's not a poor handling of a situation, and it's a good move by the Flyers to get the cap space, get a pick for him, get whatever. And yeah, I mean, he's gonna be a guy in 5 to 10 years. We're like, wow, remember Ivan Fedotov, where he came over from Russia, like 2 days later, they threw him into a game in a playoff race. Like like you said, from the jump, it was just set up to fail.
It really was. But we'll always have that game where he outdueled Andrei Vasilevsky in a shootout, which was really cool.
He beat Vasilevsky, he beat Shesterkin, he beat Allmark, and he beat one more Vezina winner. Like, I had a tweet about it. He beat 4 Vezina winners last season. Like, insane. Like, when he's great, when he's good, he's good. But when he's bad, he is awful.
Real bad.
He's real bad.
To quote one Kelly Hinkle, he looks bajiggity, and I think the Columbus fans are going to learn that firsthand.
He does look bajiggity. Great word there. I love when Hanks breaks that out. Also looking bajiggity in his first Flyers appearance. It might just be the jersey number. If I was a defenseman joining the Flyers, I would simply not pick number 47. Number 47. Yeah. Of course, you had AMAC. You weren't around for that. Then you had Ronald Attard, wore 47. He's been traded, and now Noah Juulsen comes in. He trips to allow like an odd man rush where Drysdale had a good play to break it up. He had that hit that drew a penalty that, you know, people were like, oh, great play by him. Good hit. Yeah, good hit. But that's fine. But it's just it's not what you want to see. And let me tell you something. He's going to be getting minutes. He is probably going to be the number 6 to start the season.
Okay.
Number 7 at worst. He's not going to the AHL.
Okay, number 7, sure, I could see that, but I don't think he gets game 1. I don't care. I know you're on about, well, he's Tocchet's favorite toy. He's the veteran guy. This team needs to see what they've got in their young defensemen. They don't need to see what Noah Juulsen can do. We know what Noah Juulsen can do, and it's get turnstiled and starfish and do his best Andrew McDonald impression. They need to know, is Igor Zamula a part of this? Like, does he? Well, I assume he'll make the opening light.
He's the 5. So it's Zamula Juulsen on the third pair.
No, we need like Grons. What are you going to do? York Sealer on the second?
York Sanheim, Sealer Drysdale, and Zamula Juulsen. The classics. Just throwing, just, you know, keep it the same.
Nope.
It works. It worked so well. You know, it worked so well last season, finishing 5th worst.
4th worst, right?
4th worst, yeah.
Yeah. No, I think Juulsen will be the 7, and they'll bring up one of Grons or Andre to play in the NHL. I think it's Grons because he's not waivers exempt, but everybody's going to be slipping their version of Helge Grons through waivers at the same time. I don't expect him to get claimed. We had the same concern about Ronnie Attard getting claimed like a year ago. That was never going to be a legitimate worry. But Andre has the potential higher ceiling. And in the preseason game, I believe they played Emil Andre on the right side to see if he could do it. And that is telegraphing to me, oh, there's your Risto replacement on the right.
Well, they had Andre Juulsen together on Sunday. Zamula Drysdale was the other pair, and Ginning and Gill was the third pair there. I like Granz. I would not mind seeing Granz as a 6 whatsoever. I think if he has a good training camp, he'll get there. But like also, I wouldn't mind seeing Granz Andre pairing play 20 minutes a night in the AHL. Like
Oh,
have not I mean, or a third pair in the NHL or a
yeah.
third pair in the NHL. That'd be fine too. But I just don't think Andre's making it as the Risto replacement. And that's basically the main question mark on defense. And you wrote the article, I think it came out last week, on who can replace Rasmus Ristolainen. You had Jolson and Gilbert as veteran options, and Granz, Andre, Ginning, McDonald, and then Bonk as other options. And Helge Granz is what, 6'3", 6'4", so he has that big frame, right hand shot to replace Risto kind of there. And
Yep.
see what Andre can do, because Andre had an injury. I forget what it was last year. Did not come back from it very well. So hopefully, after a full off season, have him start in the AHL. And once there's an injury to Sanheim or York or Drysdale or Zamula, because there's going to be injuries on defense, you
Or a
get
trade.
Andre up there, or a trade. You never know.
I would love it if they waive Juleson and their 6 and 7 are Andre and Granz. That's my
That's
my
not going to
ideal
happen.
situation.
I would love that too. I would never have signed Noah Juleson. I just wouldn't have.
I mean, I get it. You got your new coach. Give him his we always talk about our emotional support fourth liners. Give him his emotional support third pair defenseman.
Yeah.
If it helps the transition to being a coach in Philadelphia, sure, why not? He's a league minimum contract. Maybe he can take on the not Stahl. Who do we have? Eric Johnson last year.
Yeah, Eric Johnson. They had Mark Stahl before that.
He played like 20. Mark Stahl had to play a lot because I think there were injuries, but Eric Johnson, he got to 1,000 games and then they basically put him in the press box for the rest of the season, and then did him a solid and traded him to the Avs to go chase one last cup with the team that he won with. So, maybe that's where Juleson ultimately settles in.
Yeah, Juleson, $900,000 is his cap hit for 1 year. He's not going to the AHL though. He has not played in the AHL since the 2022-23 season. 35 games last year, no points. 54 games the year before, all in the NHL. So he'll be the 7. He'll be the guy that is like, all right, if you have a bad game or a bad stretch of games, maybe you get Juleson in to, give Granz a game to reset or whoever, what have you there. But yeah, he's the emotional support third, fourth pair defenseman for Rick Tocchet. And you mentioned emotional support.
I was going to just say, the Flyers ran 11 and 7 for a while. Maybe they go back to that, and Juleson's your 7, and you run 11 forwards.
There's already so many forwards that need playing time, and there's my emotional support fourth liner, Rodrigo Abels. He looked fantastic.
Dude.
He looked fantastic on Sunday night.
He was outstanding, and I was in the game thread on BroadStreetHockey.com. Please like and subscribe. And there was someone posting like, "Come on, cowards, put Abels in for the shootout," because he didn't get to go till like 7th or 8th round or something. And they're like, "Come on, put him in. Parker Gahagen was in the AHL. Abels knows how to beat this guy." Yeah. And lo and behold, Rodrigo Abels puts one past him in the shootout. So I loved that. Nesbitt getting the assist. But where does Abels fit here?
Abels is the default 4C. He's the default 4C. If Luchenko,
not Dvorak.
I don't think Dvorak's starting as the fourth line center. I really don't. I'm not sure. It's such an interesting situation the Flyers have, because they have Dvorak who can move around. They have Grebenkin and Bump who could make the NHL, or they could just put him in the AHL. Luchenko, they have to either do NHL or OHL. They're getting another look at Abels tonight in Montreal, having him play in back-to-back games. I mean, if he looks as good as he did on Sunday in every preseason game, he's just be like, all right, he's our fourth line center. If he falters, we can bring someone else up and put Dvorak. We can bring up Bump. We can bring up the Grebenkin, put them on the third line wing, put Dvorak at fourth line center. Abels is like, don't forget about me. I played at NHL minutes last year, and it wasn't just because I can play center. Like I held my own.
I think he played wing in that game too, because they let Nesbitt get the center position on that fourth line. So, maybe he's the Delorier replacement of some sort.
Well, it's interesting the forward battles getting into it here because like they have what 10, 11 returning forwards there, so it's only really one or two spots up for grabs, especially now with Tyson Forster looking healthy.
Hmm.
You got Abels, you got Bumper Benkin, who are both wingers, then you have Luchenko, and like maybe two of them can make the team. And right now, I don't know who I would say. I don't think any of those four is like a slam dunk. They should make it.
No, and Alexis Jean had a great game on Sunday
Yeah.
too. He really popped.
I mean, and I don't think
Barkey
Barkey's going straight to the NHL either, but he looked great too. Like,
in the rookie game, yeah.
yeah. Well, the rookie game and Sunday. Sunday he was playing with I
Oh
think
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Cates and Hathaway. Yeah, on the second line there.
Hmm.
He
Hmm.
looked good.
No, it's always fascinating. Like we talk about these camp battles, and really they only apply to the bottom of the lineup because like the top six forwards and the top four defensemen, you know who they're gonna be. It's not like they're gonna waive Travis Sanheim or something. Travis Sanheim's making this team unless he's injured. But when you get to the third and fourth line and the third pair of the defense, that's where you start getting like these more interesting conversations because there's so many more players that could theoretically take that roster spot, but there's only so many roster spots to get.
Hmm.
Um, it's I don't know. I mean, and like Garnet Hathaway's making this team.
Yeah.
He's not getting waived. If you're looking at the winger situation, you've got what on the left wing, on the right wing, you'd have Michkov, TK, Brink, and on the left you have Forrester, Tippett,
Tip it.
and then
Either Bump or Dvorak, like
or Tate
whichever.
moves over. Like all of those guys are making this team, except maybe Bump. Like there's a lot of competition for these guys to get through.
Yeah, but like when we did our most recent lineup predictions, and I just went
Hmm.
with the safe option. It's like, all right, that's the safe option, but that could very well be what the lineup is. And let them play out the season. There's gonna be injuries, there's gonna be cold spells. If Bump goes on a tear in the AHL, call him up. He's the one guy who can play top six, put him on a line with, Zegras Michkov or Couturier and someone else. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot that Bump can do, I think. But and it'll be exciting to see them. It'll be exciting to see Luchenko. It'll be exciting to see all these guys in the NHL. But specifically for Bump and Gurbenkin, I wouldn't mind them starting in the AHL.
I love what Bump said today too. He was asked, I think, in one of the interview scrums that he was like, they were like, "Oh, are you excited to play in Montreal?" And he said, "Not really. I'm not excited until I'm in the regular season in the lineup." Like this dude is clearly
I
just he's motivated. He has one thing in mind, and it is making the Flyers out of this camp. Like I I don't know if he can be denied. Like it we'll see how the rest of the preseason plays out because, you play a few bad games, that's that. Um and the Flyers have only made like 3 cuts, I think. It was like Nate Quinn, Joey Costanzo, and
yeah,
someone else whose name
someone
I'm blanking.
else. Yeah.
Yeah, nobody named.
Apologies to him, but you don't matter.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, bud. But it's still a wide open field for who's going to make this team.
Hmm. I mean, yeah, for those two spots, but like we've been saying, 10 or 11 forwards are locked in. Forster, Cates, Brink, Michkov, Victoria, Konechny,
Hmm.
Hathaway, Tippett, Zegras, Dvorak. That's 10.
Yeah.
Delorier is going to be the 13th. That's 11. There's two more. There's two spots for 4, 5, 6 guys to fight for. And like, would you be comfortable starting Bump on the fourth line, or would you rather have him in the AHL?
I think it depends who he's playing with. Because first and foremost, Garnet Hathaway is a good hockey player. Like we all just
Oh
have to
no,
get
yeah.
over like
Hathaway is locked in fourth line right wing.
and he is good. Like it's not like you're pairing him with dead. If you put a player on the fourth line, it's not like you're playing him with dead weight. Hathaway is a good hockey player. I'm fine with him. The question then becomes who's your 4C? If it's Jet Luchenko, Bump, and then Hathaway, that's a very young fourth line that could get steamrolled a bit. I'm not as worried about the minutes because we've seen that this Flyers team, they use their fourth line more like a 3.5.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're not getting 6, 7 minutes a night. They're getting like 10, 11. It's more evenly distributed. So I'm not as worried about the minutes. I'm just more worried about what the expectation of the players in that role would be rather than the actual ice time. But if you've got a fourth line of Bump, Luchenko, Hathaway, that's cool. Or if it's Bump Dvorak Hathaway, that's fine. Or Kate's in the middle. Like, there's a bunch of combinations you could have there that I'd be happy with. What I wouldn't enjoy is if it's like Bump. I know we like Obels, but Bump Obels Hathaway would probably not be the ideal fourth line combination.
Well,
Although,
I think that would be the only option if Bump is on the fourth line, like, because then that means Dvorak. If Bump makes a team and is on the fourth line,
yeah,
Dvorak is a middle six winger. He's being the winger for Cates and taking faceoffs and whatnot.
or he's 3C, and then Kate's moves back to wing.
I think they're keeping Cates at wing. Maybe, okay, yeah, either of them. They're both on
Yeah.
3C. So then 4C is either going to be Luchenko, and if Luchenko makes a team, I think they'd rather have like Obels with him on the left side and Hathaway on the right side to give him two veteran presence. You're not gonna put Bump and Luchenko on the same line out of the gate. Maybe
Mhm.
Grebenkin and Luchenko. What?
So, an interesting thought experiment here is if Bump doesn't make the team, but neither does Obels, is that your top line in the AHL? They play a ton of minutes together, and then they get called up together to be the fourth line if there's a couple of injuries. Like, there's a potential that they run that because that's how they're going to run the AHL. But we don't know that. We don't know that yet because I don't think the Phantoms have started playing
No,
yet
the
because all
Phantoms
of them
don't.
they're all in camp with the Flyers.
Yeah, I think Phantom's training camp starts usually like the first week of October or so,
Yeah.
so we'd get a better idea there. But yeah, we could see like a Bump Obels Barkey line in the AHL would be
Oh,
fun to watch there. Yeah, AHL, Joe. I'm not
yeah,
saying
yeah.
maybe not saying in the NHL,
I
but
mean, we could get real crazy with it. I mean, like, let's go just totally wild. 1C, I don't know, move Bump to center and play him on the first line. Let's see what happens.
yeah, last year the Phantoms announced their training camp roster on September 28th, so it'll be a
Okay.
few more days here before we get into that. And like, it's this isn't going to be a popular thing to say, I don't think, but I don't want Bump making the team. I don't want him making the team out of camp. We
Okay.
have enough wingers to fill out the top nine. If the fourth line left wing position is open, give it to either Grebenkin or Obels.
Okay.
My primary concern, my primary focus is what it's been for the past month plus now. Jet Luchenko needs to make the team. Jet Luchenko needs to make the team. Start him as 4C. Him, Hathaway, Grebenkin as a fourth line would be fun. They'd be fast. They'd be able to check. They'd be able to defend. They could attack. And, have Luchenko play second power play, give him some PK time, and, eventually works his way up the lineup throughout the year. They have forwards. And another thing about the NHL I don't like is like teams don't utilize their 13th forward properly. Have like a few guys that just rotate in the bottom six to keep them fresh. But the NHL has too much pride for that. So Luchenko is the guy right now that I think needs to make the team because he's just should not go back to Guelph.
Yeah. I've come around on it. I still need to see him have a good camp. Like, if he bombs in camp, then like what
Yeah,
like
he's
you're
playing
not
tonight.
making the
I
team.
don't think the lines are out yet, but like
What are
you
the
got
odds for the Flyers tonight?
I don't know if we have any
Can
odds
you
for the Flyers. Let me
can you
check
bet on
our you can absolutely bet on preseason, Joe. Our bets here, odds here for the Flyers tonight on FanDuel. I'm actually not seeing NHL preseason on FanDuel, and there's no other potential sports books out there. Just our good friends at FanDuel. But yeah,
Mhm.
if you're thinking crazy, if you're thinking big here, the Flyers have a huge range of outcomes this season. Philadelphia Flyers to win the Stanley Cup, 175 to 1. You put down $5, you win 875. That's high hopes there, but if it's a high range of outcomes for this team. So make sure you check out FanDuel there for all of your betting needs. Maybe bet on the Eagles to win the Super Bowl instead there.
Oh,
That seems to be a much better odds. 7 to 1 for the Birds to win the
whew,
Super Bowl
to
after the
repeat. Oh,
to
baby.
repeat. Yeah, back to back here. They're looking good early on. The Birds are, and hopefully the Flyers can look good out of the gate as well. Just reading into the wingers tonight. You got Couturier, Obels, Dvorak. Luchenko is listed as a right wing by the Flyers PR. I think that's wrong. But like you got
Seems
Brink in
weird.
there, you got Bump, Dvorak, Delorier, Tippett. Richard. Like I could see like a Luchenko and Tippett. I'm pretty sure they were paired together a lot, according to Charlie O'Connor. Two fast guys, and maybe put Bump on that left side. That could be a very fun young line there. But yeah, like you were saying, you have to you gotta have a good camp at Luchenko. Like he had dealing with the ankle injury. Do you know what the injury was? He
Groin. I
had
think they said
groin
it was a
injury.
groin injury.
That could be a tough one, especially for someone that uses their speed as one of their biggest skills. But I just think Luchenko is the only center that could fill in the top 9 if there's an injury. Like you can't put Obels there. Um, I think Luchenko, and I think someone's thrown out before, like, start him with the Flyers, let him go play at the World Juniors, and then if you want to send him back to the OHL after that, do that. But I
Well,
just
they
think
don't need it. They don't need him to play in the top 9.
no,
Zegras,
if there's an
Couturier,
injury,
even then they don't need him. Zegras, Couturier, Cates, Dvorak. There's 4 centers, and if you're putting Dvorak on the wing and then Cates gets injured, you just move Dvorak over to center. Like they are so well covered at center this year because after last season they're like we're not letting that happen to us again.
Yeah, knock on wood there. Well covered at center because Zegras looked good down the middle with Michkov and Grabenkin in his first preseason game, and he's played center the majority of his career. So he should stick there, but we'll see what happens with that. I don't know if Dvorak or Cates are top 6 guys. So if let's say Zegras gets hurt because he got hurt last year, I think Luchenko would be the first guy I want to put at 2C.
Interesting. I mean, I'd be down. I'm open to
Yeah.
that. I don't know if the coaching staff would go for that. They'd just they'd
Move
probably
Cates up.
move Dvorak or Cates there.
Tocchet does love Dvorak, and Dvorak loves Tocchet. I'm hoping Dvorak has a career year this year because it looks like everything's lining up for him to do that. He had his best years under Tocchet. He had a great finish last year in Montreal after an injury. So Dvorak, while Juleson is going to be a guy I think we hate on a little bit, I think Dvorak could become like a low key like Ryan Poehling type where you enjoy having him like on your third line.
I see him more as a like a Sean Walker, but at forward. Like you don't really know what you're going to get. He's only going to be here for a year, but he ends up proving to be like a very valuable player to the team.
Yeah, he could be like a Sean Walker. Yeah, I kind of like that comparison there. That's just short term thing. If it works out, you can trade him maybe. If it works out, you're in a playoff race, you keep him.
Keep him.
No risk, just 1 year. So yeah, that's perfect there.
And even if they're like out of it, I still wouldn't trade him for like 50% retention and a 5th round pick. That's stupid. Like you don't.
You could get a 2nd round pick for him easy. I think potentially a 1st, depending on
the center market,
how he's been playing,
face offs,
take back a contract, stuff like that. So but yeah, Tocchet. One thing Tocchet likes is keeping pairs of forwards together. Charlie tweeted out on Thursday at practice, but I think one of the first days of training camp there, the potential duos today looked like Zegras Konechny, Couturier Michkov, Cates Brink, and maybe Luchenko Tippett. Like those 4 pairs, I feel like are ideal. Then you got what? You got Forster as like a solo floater. You got Dvorak can float around there, and who am I missing? I don't know, Hathaway. Hathaway, I guess, is like the 3 wingers, and then whoever makes the 4th line, left wing spot. But Zegras and Michkov were together on Sunday night. There was a Zegras Michkov Konechny line in practice today, which would be really fun. But which of you had some facial reactions there while I was reading that off. What was that too?
When we were doing our projections, I was like, Zegras and Konechny need to be together. These 2 guys need to be on the same line. I don't care who the 3rd forward on that line is, but it needs to be Zegras Konechny. And the fact that it looks like Tocchet has paired those 2 together, I am just ecstatic. It is so, because to me, Zegras needs to learn how to, I know people are going to get mad at this, but quote, play the Flyers way. Because sometimes he can be a bit soft. Sometimes he can be a bit disengaged. You know what? Travis Konechny is like the perfect guy to teach him how to do this the right way, which is stay engaged, stay involved, always be in the scrum, because Konechny is small and always ends up at the bottom of the scrum. And as far as defense, just give an honest effort. Like, you don't have to be perfect at it, but as long as you're doing enough that the coach isn't pissed off at you, you're fine. Because that's what TK does. He's like, I'm not a defensive expert, but I'm gonna do the best I can, and sometimes that's good enough. And the coach can't really get too mad at me for that. So
Yeah, I think Zegras is definitely going to be a guy to watch this year, obviously. But like, even just watching him on the ice, how he has his jersey tucked in, like if he's going, that's swag, that's aura, that's what he has going on there. But if he's not
yeah.
going, he looks like a fucking dweeb. He just looks like, what are you doing out there? Untuck your jersey, put some effort in. Like I can already hear, radio station callers be like, "Oh, this Trevor Zegras doesn't play the right way. Only worried about flashy TikTok reels and stuff, and doesn't get it to the dirty areas."
I felt like he was just okay on Sunday too. I know a lot of people were like gassing him up, but he looked a little, I don't know, unsettled, like a stiff maybe. Like maybe he was putting a lot of pressure on himself to be like, this is my first game. I have to really like show all these things. And I don't know, he just looked a little disconnected from time to time. But maybe he just needs to get warmed up, you know?
Yeah, I wasn't really watching too closely, but like the stream wasn't great. But yeah, he looked fine. Nothing
Yeah.
like out of the ordinary, really, either way. There were a few good shifts with him and Michkov and
There was
Gurbenkian, a
that
few
one
great shifts. And
yeah. Oh,
I don't
that one
care that it's
offensive zone
preseason.
shift.
I don't care if it's playing against AHL guys. They're not playing against beer leaguers. Like you see like Ryan Reeves and enforcers go play beer leagues. They tear it up. Like these guys are professional hockey players. Like
Hmm.
they're in one of the best leagues in the world. Like that's impressive, even in preseason, even against five guys that might not make the team. There's still five bodies, five sticks out there trying to break up passes and stuff. So it's
Yeah.
encouraging to see there. And we're 37 minutes in here, completely buried the lead. First preseason game, first Michigan attempt of the year for Matvei Michkov. That was fantastic.
I forgot about that. Yeah, he sure did try it. Sure
Yeah,
didn't work, but good on him for trying. I love that first game without Torts. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna try and land this. I have to wonder if he and Zegers have some bet going between them about who's gonna hit
they
that
definitely
first.
do.
They
They definitely
absolutely
do.
do. Or if they don't, the rest of the
You,
team
you
has the
know,
bet
you
going.
know, Cam York and Jim Drysdale are given to Zegers and be like, Michkov's going to do it before you. Michkov's going to do it before you, and they're definitely going back and forth at it. And then it was either later in that shift or later in the game. Michkov had the puck going behind the net, and he just did a pass back like from where he was going. So the Michigan, might not be a quote unquote hockey play, but if you have someone like that can do it and puts focus on it, it opens up so many other options, which is so exciting.
I think it's what Torts was trying to get through to him last year is like, look, I'm not gonna stop you. If you want to do the Michigan, go for it. But you're so good. Maybe look around and see if there's a teammate in a better position. Is it the
Mhm,
best play to make? If it is, okay. If it's not, I'm going to be mad because I want you to make the best play, not the flashy one. So
mhm.
I feel like I feel like that's kind of the equilibrium. I'm sure Tackett is going to have a similar approach where it's like, look, dude, you can hit this in your sleep. That's awesome. And if it looks like it's the best play to you, okay. But if you see something better, don't force it. Speaking of Tackett and shooting, that video clip of Tackett feeding one-timers to Michkov in practice a couple days ago. I think it was the day before the game, and then Michkov scores the game-tying goal from the exact position where he'd been practicing those shots
Mhm.
with Tackett the day before.
Yeah,
Cool. That was
yeah,
just
that was
dope to see.
really cool. So, yeah. The Michigan conversation, I think it's just some nuance and like context based. It's like the dump and chase style hockey. Like,
Mm,
yeah, you don't want to be playing dump and chase, but sometimes it's just the best play. Like if you're late in the shift, you guys need to change, dump it in, go for a change. Like there's
yeah.
context to everything there. And yeah, seeing Tocchet, seeing Michkov score from there, and seeing the Flyers have a power play that is
Oh,
able to have some sort of like plan getting into the zone and then setting up in the zone was just so refreshing. So refreshing.
beautiful. And that was pretty much the first unit. It was Drysdale, Zegers, Michkov, and then you sub out Cates for Couturier. And who was the? Did they have Gurbenkian on?
Gurbenkian for Konechny, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and there you go. There's your first unit. But the core guys that you want to see good on the power play were on that unit on Sunday
Mhm.
night, which was Drysdale, Zegers, and Michkov, and
Yeah.
they were moving that puck around. That was nice to see. Drysdale, guys, I'm booking it now. Drysdale's gonna have a killer season. Like y'all ain't ready for what Jim Drysdale's about to do.
Jim Jam Drysdale.
Jim Jam Drysdale.
I know sometimes they put out like NHL like player point totals. I don't know if they have anything out for Jimmy Drysdale just yet, but if I see that at FanDuel, I'm gonna have to shout it out on one of these podcasts. And yeah,
Do they have Michkov?
They might have Michkov. They have Michkov versus Celebrini. You can get
Ooh.
Michkov head to head regular season points. Michkov is plus 108 and Celebrini is minus 135. So they think Celebrini is going to have more points, but I don't know about that. I think Michkov's going to be motivated there. Certainly did not look like he'd have any sort of sophomore slump based on Sunday's game there. And yeah, the power play, like you mentioned it, Zegras, Michkov, and Drysdale seem like the three like point people. Like Drysdale's at the top, other two guys are on the wall. And then you'll have Konechny and Couturier mixing and matching in the middle, moving around. So
Coots for faceoffs.
Yeah, Coots for faceoffs, and Zegras was playing NHL 26. Was like, Coots, your X factor is the faceoff. What do you got for me? So hopefully he can learn some tips and tricks from Couturier, who learned them from Giroux, who learned them from Bobby Clark. So just the Flyers' legacy can hopefully live on in Trevor Zegras.
I have high hopes. I think he was 4 for 9 on the night. It's funny because 4 for 9, that's negative. I don't know the exact. Well, that's 45%. It's
like 44.4%. Yeah.
Yeah. If he'd won one more, he'd be plus.
Yeah, it'd be 55%.
It's literally the difference of one face-off. It's crazy how much weight is put behind face-off percentages, and then you look at the numbers like that, and you're like, oh, if he'd won one instead of lost it, he'd be in the positive side.
But face-offs only really matter if you're in one of the extremes. Like if you're Claude Giroux good, Sean Couturier good, or Trevor Zegras bad. Like 36 last year, 38 the year before, career 40%. Like that's like, you want to have, especially a top line center or top six center that you can put out for the face-off and win it. But also, like, you need wingers that can help win that face-off. You need wingers that can go in if the first guy's kicked out. Like Zegras, if his one weak spot is face-offs and works on defense, works on everything else, I can live with that.
Yeah, if he goes 4 for 9 every game of the season, cool. That's an improvement.
Whatever. Yeah. We've been asking for some listener questions on Blue Sky and in Discord, so make sure you guys get active on there in the Discord. We're trying to be more active in there during games and other times as well. Got a question from Benjamin Molesky here. Can Kolosov find his game with consistent AHL time? You know what, Joe? Is Kolosov? Kolosov's getting up there in age, is he not? Is he? He's like 24. That's like when players hit their prime, right?
23.
23.
He's 23.
Well, that's when players hit their prime anyway, so that's fine.
Unless it's goalies, baby.
Wait, what?
I still believe in Alexei Kolosov because, first of all, he's young. And to prove it, I am the only person who submitted a 25 under 25 ballot that ranked Kolosov. Granted, he was number 25 on my list, but I still think, with the proper development, there is something there. And as long as he is allowed to fulfill that development path that is best suited to him, aka not being thrown into the NHL as a backup because the forces that be won't allow him to play in the AHL. No, I still believe in him. I think he can find his game. I think him and Bjarnason have a real good shot at being a solid tandem for them. Yeah, I'm excited to see what he can do without the pressure of having to be an NHL goalie as a rookie. So, how about you? Are you totally out on him, or are you still a bit of a believer?
No, I'm not out on him. I think he, like you said, he's young. He's 23. He turns 24 in January. Last year, after he was sent down in March, he allowed 2 goals or fewer in 3 of 5 starts, 3 goals in one, 4 goals in another, and that was against Wilkes-Barre, who was a pretty good team last year. So, yeah, he definitely has it. He just needs a consistent workload, a consistent schedule, knowing what's going to happen. And
Yeah.
being in the AHL where they play primarily weekends, he's there with Bjarnason. He knows he's going to get one of the two games every weekend. I feel like that's something where the Flyers can then, work with him, have a decent defense in front of him because they're going to have, is Gill AHL eligible or is he OHL? He's OHL, right? They're still going to have Bonk, McDonald, one of Andre or Grans probably. They're going to have a decent defense and a decent forward group and a decent team in front of them.
And
So
very importantly,
an actual head coach.
well, that too. I was also going to say, if Grebenkin doesn't make the Flyers, he's got a fellow Russian on the Phantoms with him.
Yes.
Now that Fedotov is gone. So, I think in the first season he was there were no Russians. It was just him. So,
he was locked up in a hotel room and was chained to the radiator.
He was. I hear if you go to room 207 in that hotel, you'll find a pair of handcuffs stuffed behind the radiator. That's not true at all, by the way. Don't go. I don't know. Don't. We're coming up on spooky season, guys. I'm trying to get my ghost stories in order. All right.
You say Kolosov 3 times in the mirror, and he pops up behind you.
In a very spooky goalie mask, just all Jason Voorhees. Oh, Voorhees, New Jersey. Jason Voorhees.
Whoa. It's all coming together.
It's all coming together.
Orange and black. It's all coming together.
It's all coming together.
But yeah, to
Happy
answer
Halloween.
the question, I think he can find his game. Were his numbers in the KHL or wherever he played before even that good? I remember them not being
they were
amazing.
all right,
I'm looking them up
they?
now. They were worse than Fedotov, I'm pretty sure. Let's see, 23-24, 907 for Dynamo Minsk, 912 the year before. So yeah, he has 900 hockey in him, and I feel like give him a year or two to fully acclimate over here to North America, and maybe he gets back up to that with a solid team in front of him. So,
and again, young. He is young. For goalie standards who don't hit prime till 27, 28, he's got 4 years left of development before. And I know some people are like, well, I don't want to wait that long. Tough shit. We're in a rebuild. What else are you waiting for? This is the point. We are waiting for these players to develop. Deal with it.
Well, and you got to wait for Igor Zavragin, who is dominating in the KHL. He's only played a few starts, but he had a shutout on Sunday, I believe. And, he has 2 more years left on his contract over there. Kolosov, this is his final year with the Flyers. He's an RFA. I'm sure they'll keep him unless he has a bad year and is disgruntled again. But yeah, cautiously optimistic about the goalie situation moving forward. This year, Ersson, Vladar should be a decent tandem. Maybe one of Kolosov or Bjarnason can prove to be a potential tandem goalie. And then you got Zavragin, who, could end up being the real deal.
I'm hoping, but again, we gotta wait, y'all. It's gonna be some time. I always go back to Shesterkin and Sorokin, who are the best goalies at their position. Yes, Shesterkin was behind Lundqvist, I think, and then Sorokin had Varlamov in front of him, but they weren't playing 50 plus games until they were 25, 26. So
yeah,
if Zavragin comes over at the end of his contract, he'll be 21 or no, 22. Don't expect him to just jump in and be a 50 game starting goaltender. Unless he's Andrei Vasilevsky, that's really not going to happen.
Vasilevsky started 47 games, 50 appearances in his age 22 season. Yeah, 917. He's just a freak of nature, though.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're one of those true upper echelon elite goaltenders, like Hellebuck is another good example. Goaltenders don't play that way. Everyone always points to Juuse Saros. He had a down season, but he's a very good goaltender. He wasn't playing full time till 27, and that was because he was behind Pekka Rinne.
Yeah,
it takes a while for goalies, which means it is so important that Ersson or Vladar or apparently available Connor Ingram, who is someone I would love to see put on a Flyers uniform. They need to be able to hold it down for 3 or 4 more years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wonder if Connor Ingram was known to be available around the league before it just came public a few weeks ago, because last year wasn't great, dealt with a lot, with personal stuff going on. But
Yeah,
2 years before that, like with the Coyotes, who were shit, a 907 save percentage. Like he's
he saved.
he's
I
28.
think I think it was like that season he saved like 25 goals above expected per Evolving Hockey. Like he has a proven track record at age 25, I guess that was,
Mhm.
of being a good goaltender behind a shit team. He can do this, but the only question now is can he still do it after he's missed so much time? Like this previous season, had he not lost his mother, I believe that's why he
Mhm.
entered the NHL Players Assistance Program, is because he was dealing with so much grief. Um, that this past season was supposed to be a battle between him and Karol Vejmelka for the future number one role of the Utah Mammoth.
Yeah.
It didn't work out that way. They signed or acquired, I don't remember, Vitek Vanacek, who is going to be the backup to Vejmelka. And they're just like, look, you're third on the depth chart now, but we'll try and find you a new home.
Yeah. Ingram he's going into the last year of his deal, so I can't imagine the Flyers will take a flyer on him. But we could see Edmonton, Carolina, some
He's
team like that picking him up.
He's the right age. He's a cheap contract. Like the Flyers don't really have the space for him, but maybe if Ersson or Vladar gets injured or absolutely bombs in the first month and he's still available, maybe they go for it.
Yeah, I just see better teams probably that have room for him going for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully he does land somewhere there. Okay, anything else here before we close it out? Anything we haven't touched on that happened over the past few weeks?
Nothing too major. It's good to be back.
Yeah, no, it's good to be back. This went a lot smoother than I thought it would. I've been putting it off a bit. I have not podcasted since August. I haven't podcasted all month here of September. So we're going to be ramping it back up here at the Broad Street Hockey Podcast, Broad Street Hockey YouTube channel. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, rate, review,
ring that notification
everywhere
bell.
there. Yeah, ring that bell so you know when we are going live. Going to be trying to be going live around between 2 and 4 o'clock over the next few weeks as we load up for the season here. So make sure you ring that bell, as Joe says.
Do you want to do our get back to game predictions for the preseason
games? No, Joe. No, I don't. No, I don't. We can talk about that. Let's see. Upcoming schedule. They play Tuesday night in Montreal, Thursday night in Washington, Saturday at home against Boston, Monday at Boston, and I imagine we'll record before their final two games next Thursday against the Islanders and then next Saturday against the Devils, which are really I think that Thursday game against the Islanders is like the one to look for. And then the final game is just like, AHL guys getting their last chances to play in an NHL rink and all that type of stuff.
Flyers sweep.
Flyers undefeated through the preseason, through the regular season, 16-0 in the playoffs, just never going to lose again.
Plan the parade. They go 8-0. What? How many do we have total? 8? 7. They go 7-0 in the preseason. Plan the parade.
Here we go.
We're going all the way, baby.
All right, Joe. Where can people find you on socials?
You can find me at Blue Sky at jfdmarini.bsky.social. See you there.
You can also follow me on Blue Sky at ryangilbert.bsky.social. Make sure, of course, you check out BroadStreetHockey.com, like and subscribe there. Broad Street Hockey podcast feed and the Broad Street Hockey YouTube channel. And once again, shout out FanDuel for presenting the show. And until next time, thanks for listening.
Go Flyers.